for your listening enjoyment, as Johnny Dollar.
Philip Martin, Johnny.
Hold on, Mr. Martin.
Got a job for you.
Fine.
Man named Carl Nelson is insured by our company. He was killed.
How?
Shot to death. Got a police record. Small-time hoodlum. Beneficiary is a woman named Gilkison. Maud Gilkison.
Uh-huh.
She disappeared. Police think it probably has something to do with Nelson's death. Want to see what you can find out?
Sure.
All right. Get down to New York as soon as you can. Contact Lieutenant Korchak at 11th Precinct Homicide. Give you all the help he can.
I'll get right on it.
You know, many great men have attained the highest office in our land, the presidency of the United States. Can you guess the name of this man? He was third vice president to become president through the death of the man holding that office. A man of limited education, he was taught to read and to write by his wife. In 1862, when Tennessee threatened to secede from the Union, he was appointed military governor of occupied Tennessee by President Lincoln. As president, by a threat of war, he stopped Napoleon's attempt to seize control of Mexico, and his administration saw the beginning of the Reconstruction era. A senator before he became president, he was re-elected to the Senate after his presidential term of office was over. If you don't have his name by now, here are two more clues. During his administration, Alaska was purchased from Russia, and Nebraska became a state. Who was he? Andrew Johnson, 17th President of the United States. His life is part of your American heritage.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Columbia All Risk Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Nelson matter. Expense account item 1, $15.36, train fare and incidentals between Hartford and New York City. I arrived at 2:30 in the afternoon. After registering at the hotel, went directly to the 11th Precinct Police Station, where I introduced myself to Lieutenant Korchak of Homicide.
How much does your company insure the Frog for?
The Frog?
Nelson. He was called the Frog. He looked like one.
Oh? He was insured for $10,000.
Maud Gilkison gets the money.
Do you think she had something to do with the killing?
No, I think she knows something about it.
Have theories about why he was killed?
Nothing definite. Frog was a hood, long record, did time twice. Been in every racket from the numbers to stick-ups. Now, you don't generally get anything definite on a killing like this. Some of the boys wanted him dead. Who or why is hard to tell. He's been associated with Ellis Hartje for the past year or so.
That's pretty big company.
Yeah, Hartje's about as big as they come. Probably got unhappy with the Frog and